Hey everyone, hello, hello. It is Whimsy. It is Wednesday, September 4th, here in my offices, 3 p.m. I'm in Los Angeles, and I just wanted to hop on and say hello. I had some interesting remotes last night, so I wanted to just share those with everybody, but we're going to start by saying hello to everybody, starting with Ove Timmy. Hello, Ove Timmy. Good to have you here. Hello to Jermaine, Mary, and Marcus. Welcome, welcome. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and get started. And if anybody has any questions or requests for me, I'd be happy to be there for you. I have no air conditioning at all right now in my apartment, and it's 97 degrees. It's interesting. They say air conditioning is actually really bad for the environment. So I'm always trying to come up with creative ways to cool my apartment that are better for the environment. Hi, Bluebell, Celia, and welcome, welcome, Brett and Margaret. Kathy's here. Yay! I hope Kathy doesn't resent that we put her back to work. Hello, Naomi and Carrie. All right, let me start taking notes for people. Okay, so a lot of what I've been focusing on the last couple days is the hurricane and just sending prayers to everybody who has been affected by the hurricane. It's never a good thing when these things happen, and so we will be donating this month to disaster relief. So if anybody would like to be a part of the disaster relief, you can donate via Super Chat now, or you can donate on your own. If you know of a great organization that's involved in hurricane relief, let us know here at the channel so that we can be a part of that. If I don't hear anybody with some great ideas, then I'll just go ahead and give it to the regular suspects like the Red Cross or something like that. Hi, LaForest. Noel is here, so we are in good company with our helpers. All right, so as I had said when I had done the remote a couple of days ago, something had kept me stuck on the east side. When I had done the remote viewing of the hurricane, I went into the Hurricane Dorian, and I kept getting pulled away from the west, away from the eastern coast of the United States, and I kept being carried out this way. So it's interesting. I don't know why that happens, but for whatever reason, it was held in place, the hurricane, over the islands in the Bahamas for about 41 hours. So why that happens, why it gets stuck, why it stays there, why it couldn't move, these are all questions for the universe. We do know that the Bahamas, 50% of their net profits are coming from the tourist industry. So this is going to be really hard on them in terms of tourism. So yeah, it's not good. All right. So the other meditation that I had done, the swamp coolers. The problem is the humidity with the Kristen, I don't know if you've tried the swamp coolers, but if the humidity is a problem, then that's going to be a problem as well. It's off the coast here now. We're expecting 35-degree winds. Yeah, if people can tell me what's going on, that would be awesome. So the second meditation I did had to do with concerns. I want to throw today on the CIA. And that's because I've been picking up some really bizarre stuff. It keeps going back to this fake story about Ghislaine Maxwell and the fact that she was at an In-N-Out burger, and they say, no, it was fake. Now they're saying it was real. She was at the In-N-Out burger. But the reason it was posed is because she was posing with her lawyer's dog. And they had a tray of somebody else eating with her, which they're assuming was her lawyer. So the lawyer staged the photograph and staged that she would be reading a book on CIA operatives. So then the question becomes, if it's staged and if she's playing a game, why is she playing this game? what's interesting about the Ghislaine Maxwell putting that out and then writing a review about a book on the CIA is that it closely mirrored the remote viewing that I had done a couple weeks ago, where someone had told Epstein that he needed to commit suicide and that he had no choice. He had to commit suicide. And if he didn't commit suicide, somebody, an operative, would take him out. And if he went to the intelligence agencies for help, it would end the same way, that he would be taken out. So what was interesting about the Ghislaine Maxwell was that it mirrored those remotes, and so it just remains a mystery. But the concern I had about the CIA remotes was that it seems like the CIA is working independently or separately from the three branches of government. And so that seems to be the concern. So if the CIA is engaged in operations which could be illegal in the sense that they are not going to turn in informants who are of value to them, and they are openly breaking the law, then that becomes an ethics issue. And that seems to be if there's a cover-up, that seems to be the cover-up, the means by which the CIA was acquiring information. The other thing that I picked up from the meditations on the CIA was a concern that they may have weaponized some of the compromising information that was being handed over to them by Epstein. So if Epstein was raided, if the tapes were taken by the FBI, if the CIA had copies of the tapes, and if they theoretically had tapes of people in positions of power, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, then theoretically our own intelligence agencies could be compromising those individuals. And then that becomes a branch of government, which is, again, theoretically above the American government or separate than the three branches of government. So that's basically where my mind was wandering the last couple of days as I meditated on the CIA and Iran-Contra, and now this latest controversy with Epstein, is just how much power does this intelligence agency have, and was it engaging in similar activities to the FSB and the KGB, in the sense that it was taking this information about the Clintons, about Trump, etc., and weaponizing it against American persons, particularly American persons who are working for the US government. So if that's happening, it could be that the CIA is engaged in activities that could be theoretically impacting the implementation of laws and how lawmakers are voting on certain bills, etc. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to take notes. Yeah, Vivian says the CIA has been in question. It's just interesting that there seems to be a cover-up that that Epstein was weaponizing. He was weaponizing compromised persons, and that what happened to the information after it was acquired by the American intelligence agencies? Were the American intelligence agencies blackmailing American presidents? You see how bizarre this starts to get? So I don't know much about the CIA, so this could be like old news for somebody else, but for me it was a bit odd. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a simple prayer. We'll go ahead and shuffle, and we're just going to take a look at what's going to be going on in the East Coast with the hurricane, because that's the first thing that I'm really concerned about. The last time I'd thrown on the hurricane, it had shown that it wasn't going to be that bad for America. I should have thrown in the Bahamas, and I apologize for that. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and my viewers as I ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. I call on my spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and wisdom that is needed to empower our viewers, that they make the best decisions for themselves, for the people they love, for their families, and for the planet. And with that, I say amen. All right, let's just take a look at the hurricane. Oh, thank you, Coriel. Very sweet. $2 raised. That will buy 2 trees. Coriel has planted 2 trees through AmericanForest.org. Thank you, Coriel. Because you were born, the earth breathes a lot better. We love you too. All right. It's kind of nice to put all the money together and then do it in one lump on the 22nd. If you only do have $1 to donate or $2. Usually when I go directly to AmericanForest.org, I usually try to do at least $50 each time I donate. They used to be different, AmericanForest.org, where they would show the program, like Save the Butterflies, and then you could give $50 to plant trees in Baja, Mexico, or, like it was a little bit different. Now you just give the money and then they plant trees where it's needed the most, which is okay, but it was kind of cool before. Like before, we used to be able to donate $50 to plant trees at the Bengal tiger preservation in India, and it was just fun that way. It was more proactive, I guess. It felt that way. Okay. Look, Spirit, help us out. What's going to happen with this hurricane? We need to see the eastern coast of the United States. Is Bermuda going to be involved? Who else is going to be involved? This is a really large system. Taking out tourism in 2 days. In 2 days, the power of Mother Nature. It's not personal. It's not personal. It's not like she has a vendetta against the people of the Bahamas. That's kind of a childish way to look at karma. It's really more, if you look at it from the Earth's perspective, it's just what does she need? And objectively speaking, that was how the Earth balanced itself. 50% of the Bahamas is tourism. A lot of it's through cruise lines that don't necessarily have the best environmental policies. And so to wipe that out and to wipe out all that pollution would have been effective if you had completely shut down that tourism. It doesn't mean that the people of the Bahamas deserve bad things or that they're inherently bad or that we're better than they are or anything ridiculous like that. But I can't help but think this is overall good for the environment of the Bahamas. It's not good for the economy if the economy is based on tourism that's harmful for the environment, but it's better for the ecosystem overall over time. Does that make sense? So not looking at it from the perspective of blaming anybody, but just thinking in terms of what does Gaia need to do right now to help herself. All right, the base of the matter, returning to old ways, the Six of Cups, old alliances, and the end. So this is something that's been coming up every time I look at any kind of a crisis these days. There's a feeling that human beings are moving towards, they're switching to the part of their brain as a defense mechanism that says, okay, we want to get along now, we want to cooperate. And that's Six of Cups. Six of Cups is about, I'll show you. Six of Cups is about negotiating with somebody or offering something, and it's about returning to the old ways. This is why it's sometimes called a soulmate card, in the sense that it can be a card that denotes returning to someone who you may have lost or been found a long time ago, a soulmate from a long time ago that you return back to, and then something has ended. So a conflict or a problem or an issue seems to have changed or ended regarding this. The 10 of Cups, the sun is opening up, the world is opening up. A nice 10 of Cups, which is a card that has to do with taking care of family. The Queen of Swords, putting the past again behind us, and with a Knight of Pentacles as the base. With this kind of romantic energy, we have 2 romantic cards and 2 cards that have to do with divorce or end. The Queen of Cups is the divorcee. She has her back to the past and she looks towards the future, and she is crossing what was once another type of relationship. And here again, an old relationship or partnership, and then coming to an end. What is above anger or infuriation or emotional confusion with the inverted Queen of Cups and the inverted double card. So I think this is the hurricane, or it's the movement of the water. It's unpredictable water energy. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that would be the hurricane, and then inverted devil card. It would suggest that we're going to see some damage, but it's not going to be the damage that I'm concerned, I'll be specific with the Northeastern. Uh, it's really potentially more damage in the Northeast just because of how this moves north and stays east. And then it's at that point when I start to see some problems. I'm also concerned a little bit about Georgia. For whatever reason, Georgia is coming up here in the cards. Concerns about Georgia, the Carolinas, but also the North. It's pushing northeast into areas, even Pennsylvania could be affected. The star card is here denoting that even though there's a huge loss of money, you can see the Ace of Pentacles inverted over this storm. This storm is going to have a huge financial impact, not only on the islands directly, but on all of the companies that were dependent on the tourism industry. The people who work the boats, the stewards, the captains, the galley people, the tourists that were coming there and spending the money. So there were millions of people that were affected by this disaster. And so you can see a huge amount of money is going into cleanup. But the star card is there also, and there are cards that denote cooperation and helpfulness. And we can see a nice King of Cups coming in, which is a desire to help. A lot of assistance from Canada, most likely coming in. This is Trudeau's card. Also, it's a British Commonwealth, the Bahamas, as is Canada. So I think Canada is coming in very strong, helping, as is Great Britain. They're going forward with no expectations that the Americans can assist them, but they will be pleasantly surprised that actually America does attempt to assist the Bahamas. There's a lot more help and aid and compassion than we experienced in the past. And it has to do with that Six of Cups energy moving in love, compassion, and a heart. America's heart, our compassion, our true nature is starting to surface. And the gaslighting and the cult of cruelty is not the nature of what it is to be American or part of the perfecting union. We do have challenges with things like immigration and public health, etc., but those problems will be dealt with from a place of mutual respect and cooperation. I'm very hopeful with a base card like Six of Cups. That's like the Southern gentleman bringing his flowers. So that is more in keeping with the values that I see than fighting, distension, blaming the victim, etc. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy bought 20 trees. So $20 now going to AmericanForest.org. We are patrons of AmericanForest.org, and we're really encouraging people to create heaven on earth, starting with your own life, your own home. Yesterday, I went out and I bought a bunch of native plants from my local nursery and said, okay, what's going to clean my air, be drought resistant, good for the environment, not require a lot of water? How can I green my home? And they set me up with a lot of stuff, including herbs for my kitchen that were drought resistant, like that clean the air, like rosemary, which also helps for the brain. Sage and rosemary are great. They both can tolerate drought, and they're spices, but they're purifying too. They purify the air. Sage is for spiritual purification, also can be made for a mouthwash, and you can steep it and turn it into a toner. If you boil it and make a concentrate and then mix it with witch hazel, it's a beautiful toner. And you can buy witch hazel. You can buy witch hazel and just make it yourself if you like. Sage is amazing. So I got some sage. I got some rosemary. I got some basil, live basil. And I just brought an herb garden. It's too hot outside. So I brought the herb garden into the kitchen in semi-light, and I'm spraying it twice a day, like they told me to do. And then I brought a lot of ferns in. Coral. I brought ferns in. It's wonderful. So I'm turning, spiritual seeker donated, bought 2 trees today. Yes, 2 trees. Won't it be fun on the 22nd when we get to purchase them all? Yes, so 2 trees are going to be born with the karma of spiritual seeker. It's a nice way of looking at it, right? We plant the trees, we help Gaia by helping her create new life on Earth, and we get to be part of that karma. If you want to bypass all of that and just go directly, you can go to AmericanForest.org. And the ACLU will also be receiving donations from us this month. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be looking at, people asked me to look at Kavanaugh and if Kavanaugh had a future. I don't know why, but I just don't like looking at Kavanaugh. People ask, I ignore the question, but okay, because you folks are special, I'm going to ask about Kavanaugh. What is the future of Brett Kavanaugh? And then I'll do Yang because people are really wanting to find out about Yang because his campaign is on fire again. All right, Brett Kavanaugh. What's going to be with Brett Kavanaugh? He's maturing. I know people don't want to hear that. He wants to do a good job. He doesn't want to fight with people. Yeah, 10 of Cups moving in. The Tower is coming. His personal life and his personal finances, and there's an investigation into his personal home is not in order. Remember, you know how we say if you want to save the world, you must first get your own home in order, get your house in order. This is why I started Broke Aristocrats, which is the other channel about frugal living, simple living, getting our houses in order, living below our means. This is someone whose life is completely out of order. You can see a baseline of the Tower. This is somebody who is trying to cover up or hide, gloss over a lot of internal chaos. Presenting oneself as one thing when secretly there's chaos going on, and you can see covered over the happy family, but underneath there's a Tower card. And it appears to be a personal matter, inability to let something go. He's under investigation still. How bizarre. He's being questioned by the Justice Department, and I don't know why. There's some questions regarding his legitimacy or certain things that he did prior to his receiving confirmation. And there's stuff going on. I think his wife might be divorcing him. There's personal stuff going on. Look at this. Who he is now. Can you believe that? For the professional readers, what does what do I say about an inverted King of Swords? It's a psychopath. Wandering Eyes, woohoo! Wandering Eyes bought 10 trees, woohoo! So he presents psychopathic. What is a round star card? The hope and the fear. He's in serious financial trouble. And the final outcome, justice will be served. This is something that a lot of readers are seeing. The justice card moves in. So something is going to happen where he's out of balance. Part of how he's out of balance is in the home life and possibly out of balance financially. And it results in some kind of justice. Something happened with him legally that involves finance, also private problems in the home that's about to be exposed, and there will be legal consequences for it. It's not what I expected, but that's what I see. Okay. Rumors that he beats his wife. It's depressing. I don't know. Oh, hi, Michelle. So, yeah, it's depressing, but there was something else people asked me to look at. Oh, Yang. There was a lot of requests for Yang. Okay. Spirit, what can you tell us about Andrew Yang? Is he going to win the presidency or at least the primary? Andrew Yang. Huh. He's saying some interesting things. He's saying, I got it. This guy's very animated. Okay, so what Yang is saying is that trickle-down economics don't work. That's what I'm hearing. Trickle economics don't work. And what is the greatness of America is the trickle up economics. And trickle up economics, I know nothing about economics. I've never took economics in college. So what he's saying is by giving financial incentives, seed money to small companies, small organizations, they then build the future businesses of tomorrow. And in this way, the economy is constantly regenerating itself. So that's Yang's argument. Thanks, Laurel. Laurel just planted 2 trees with AmericanForest.org. Yay! Be sure and check us out on September 22nd, which is the day when we will be officially paying for the plantings. All right. Yang, the business of the nation, Queen of Pentacles, excuse me. That is usually the nation's card or the nation's business with a Queen of Cups, which is the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Business and the Queen of Hearts. So what I like about this as base cards for Andrew Yang is that it denotes a compassion which we have not seen in the business sector in the past. He carries his heart on his sleeve. His business has a heart. It's an interesting business model, and it seems to be the direction that large companies like Target, the banks, Walmart are changing their tune. There is just this feeling that being brutal to the point that people are killing themselves, their kids are going off to join the military, dying in foreign countries because Americans are suffering under the stress of trying to survive in this economy. There's a genuine movement or a feeling from large corporations that we've got to start doing things differently, partly because it's having an impact on morale of employees in these large companies. They're quitting, they don't stay, and that's actually economically not feasible for the company. The other thing that's bad is that the companies are getting a bad reputation, so people are choosing to shop elsewhere. So the combination of not being able to keep their employees because they're unhappy, poor employee performance because there's no incentive, but the companies themselves are receiving lawsuits, bad reputation, etc. Thanks, Coriel. $2 for the environment. Thank you. We will donate that to AmericanForest.org. Either the money will go to AmericanForest.org or ACLU or Southern Poverty. Tell me where you want the money to go. I was going to put a lot of money towards the environment this month, and also I wanted to put a little bit towards hurricane relief. But it's up to you folks, since we the people decide. All right, Yang offers healing. This is something I keep seeing with him, that compassion that you don't usually see with a businessman. It's all this healing energy with Yang. Refuses to compromise a fundamental ethos. Understands that good business means you don't enter into relationships with people that you can't get out of or whose values you question. He's high-minded in the sense that Yang comes in the cards as having the ethics that he refuses to engage in a relationship rocky regarding the business of the nation. I don't think he's going to be the president. He doesn't appear to be a strong enough candidate. You can see the union here. Karma is coming to an end. However, I do think he still could work in a future administration in terms of policy. he serves an important function in that he's getting us to talk about capitalism in terms that capitalism isn't the problem, that greed and not taking the environment into consideration and thinking it's all about the narcissism, not understanding how our actions impact others, which is a separate issue than wanting to run your own business and wanting to be financially stable and live the good life. That doesn't make you greedy. So he moves away from this idea of greed in business and towards this idea of compassion, a new compassionate model of business. And it appears to be based on assisting or helping people have micro loans and helping people up so that they can become future business leaders. That's the energy of Yang. I don't see him winning the presidency, but I think as a philosophy, he will have an impact on the politics and the way that businesses operate in the future. Thanks, Michelle. For Gaia, thank you. Yeah, let me know where you want the money to go. If it's for Gaia, then we'll do the AmericanForce.org and also the Nature Conservancy, which we gave to last month, and also the environmental, I can't remember. You guys tell me where to go. I just push buttons and then I get to play and pretend that I'm a philanthropist. It's a lot of fun. All right, Mitch McConnell. We've done Mitch McConnell. I could do it again. Trees. Yes, I agree, Coriel. That's what I really want to do this month is just use the money for mostly trees and for children at the border. All right, anything else or are we done? We're going to close early today? Did I get to all your questions? When is Trump going? Okay, so this was something that people asked me to talk about because there's been some confusion about Nancy Pelosi and what is she trying to do. When I meditate and when I do remote viewings on Nancy Pelosi, she's very cautious to say that, and she's wanted me to make it clear, like energetically, that what she wants the public to know is that she doesn't do backdoor deals. I don't do backdoor deals. So she is following the letter of the law. So it's not like she's holding back with some, desire that he win the primary, that Trump win the primary, and our ability to win against, if the Democrats go against this president, they would win. There's been some talk about, no, she's not a progressive. Whether she's a progressive or not, a moderate Republican that's well respected would probably be able to beat someone like Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren definitely is somebody in the news that people are tired of the way that Trump is sowing dissension and getting people to fight and do not send to the Red Cross. Okay, well, I thought they were the best organized. Whoever the main people are on the ground in the Bahamas, I think we should. But, majority rules. If you guys want to find a really good charity, let me know. Anyway, so I think that's it. I think we're going to go ahead and close. Stacey Abrams. Let's see about the future of Stacey Abrams. I still think she's going to be the governor. What is the future of Stacey Abrams? She is a very ethical person. She doesn't know if she wants to go necessarily into the federal government, because when I go into this energy, she's very committed to reforming voting rights in Georgia. And she's on it because what's happening in Georgia is very, very scary for her. And so she has her thumb on it. She's looking at it. And that is why I think it would be hard for her to research her. Base card is the Hermit. after a severe heartbreak, most likely because of what happened with the election. Her energy is all focused on Georgia, focused on investigating a criminal activity in Georgia, focused on getting the DA involved, focused on cover-ups coming out. That is all the focus right now, not just in Georgia, but in other states as well. Voter intimidation, voter suppression, changing votes, etc. Seems to be the main thing she's focused on. Controlling, auditing, etc. She has the star over her. Let's look at the cards together. Stacey Abrams probably has a pretty great future. You can see the star here, scholarship, the sun. Yeah, she's all about exposing the sun. She's all about exposing injustice. Look at this, look at how empowered she is. She's got a magician card in her third house, so she's sitting in a position of power. She can't let it go. She's like a dog with a bone. She's just going to stay on this issue until everything comes out. She is the unsinkable, right? The unsinkable Stacey Abrams. Appears that she's offered some kind of position to oversee what happened, where she was at the defeat, the Ace of Swords inverted, defeated. They're using legal delay tactics to keep her from doing things. They're trying to box her in legally. Look at this. They're hoping to bankrupt her and her investigation. They're trying to stop this investigation. They're trying to stop this investigation, uncovering corruption on a state level. And it looks like they're not going to be able to do that, just because of an inverted hanged man in the fourth card suggests that she will stay on this until the truth comes out. An inverted death card, it could indicate that she will stay until the end, until this is resolved. But an inverted death card also would indicate that whoever was responsible for these problems in Georgia on a state level is probably not going to be in that position for much longer. There seems to be some kind of a reckoning taking place, not only in Georgia, but in other states as well. All right, I want to thank everybody for being with me today, hanging out in my office. You guys, I don't know if y'all have seen the office. This is the oils for the massage, the testing, my diploma, my books, my art. Yes. So if anybody wants to come in for an appointment, either directly by being here, or you can also make an appointment by going to Dr. Whimsy, DoctorWhimsy.com, and I do telemedicine appointments. If you're looking for a naturopath, if you're still trying to get in for a tarot reading, I am rested now. I took 3 days off, and it was necessary. But I would love to read tarot for people and do remote viewings if you'd like to come in. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be well. Well, Betsy DeVos. I hate looking at Betsy DeVos, but Salvation Army is in the Bahamas. I can check. Michelle, if you want an appointment to see me as a doctor through telemedicine, like one-on-one like this, that would be a telemedicine appointment. You can get that through drwhimsy.com. Information is below the videos. If you want a tarot reading, you go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. That's also information below. And I call you. If you're out of the United States and you'd like to get a reading, then I will send you a link to my virtual telemedicine portal, and we can meet that way. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone, and be well. We'll see you next time. Bye.